Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, wassalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil anbiya'i wal mursaleen, wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in. Rabbi zidni ilma, Rabbi shrah li sadri, wa yassir li amri, wa hlul uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana, innaka antal alim hakim. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala ali Sayyidina Muhammad wa barik wa sallim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah, ala ni'matil Islam, to be a Muslim. Alhamdulillah, to be a Muslim and participate in the month of Ramadan. Alhamdulillah, to be a Muslim, to participate in the month of Ramadan, and to be in the masjid. It truly is a blessing. And as we all know, blessings can be taken away. The past year has been unprecedented. And things that we never would imagine have happened. Normally we'd come into Ramadan, and we think that, we can come running. That's the ideal, to come running, or to at least walk into Ramadan. And we know sometimes we have to crawl into Ramadan. We crawl into Ramadan. But that was largely part of our own effort, or we would think that it's our own choice. If we want, we can run. Otherwise, it's another month. It's a blessed month. I take my time, inshallah, after 10 days, then I start getting into it. But as we saw last year, that can be taken away. Even that can be taken away. So we have to count each and every blessing that we have. And this is not a one-time thing. This is not like I did it once last year. I said Alhamdulillah in the morning, and that's it for the day. I came to the masjid once, I said Alhamdulillah. This is constant. We are getting constant benefit, constant blessings. We need to renew our shukr to Allah Ta'ala. And we need to beg Allah Ta'ala for more opportunities. One door opens up, we go through it, another door will open up. And we always have to desire to open up the next door. Because if we don't, and we think that we have this exclusive right, then we're going to face some challenges. Because the Quran has mentioned about other nations and how other communities, they felt that it was their exclusive right. They felt that we are the beloved of Allah. وَقَالَتِ الْيَهُودُ وَالنَّصَارَى نَحْنُ أَبْنَاءُ اللَّهِ وَأَحِبَّاؤُهُ. We're the most beloved. Nothing can faze us, no matter what happens. Because Allah Ta'ala has a special mercy on us. That was at that time. But if you don't acknowledge the blessings over and over again, then they may be snatched away. And sometimes we don't even perceive it. There was one person I was talking to, I was like, how are you faring now? The masjids, mashallah, are opening up. And, we start coming back. So it's like, Alhamdulillah, I didn't get sick during the pandemic. Alhamdulillah, I was good, everyone is fine. I don't see any difference, really. Alhamdulillah, I'm doing really well. Yeah, my connection to the masjid is not there, but Alhamdulillah, I'm good. So how easily you can just dismiss that. I don't have any connection to the masjid anymore, and I'm okay with that. Alhamdulillah, Allah Ta'ala has given me a lot. So we're starting to feel that this is a blessing. If I partake in it, Alhamdulillah, if not, Allah Ta'ala will still bless me. But this was the exact attitude of the previous nations. قَالُوا قُلُوبُنَا غُلْفٌ. Our hearts are protected. Nothing can faze us. This is the same thing, same type of statement that other nations would say. بَلْ لَعَنَهُمُ اللَّهُ بِكُفْرِهِمْ. But Allah Ta'ala actually cursed them because of the kufr, because of the disbelief, because of the ingratitude. So it's very important to always remind ourselves of the blessing that we have. This is essential. This is the month of regrowth. This is the month of rejuvenation. And we need it. Who doesn't need it? Who doesn't need this month? Who doesn't need this time of rejuvenation and going back and revival? And we're not just talking about us. This is not just for this ummah, this Muslim ummah. It's for the entire world. Recently a World Economic Forum survey, I'm sure there's many surveys like this, but the World Economic Forum, they usually survey on a greater scale, not just the US, but rather entire world. So just a recent survey, 1 out of 2 people are mentally affected by the pandemic. And we know that. So 1 out of 2 people are affected by the pandemic. So everyone is looking for some type of revival and rejuvenation and going back. And that's something we as Muslims, we already have the mechanism for that. We have the mechanism, we have the month of Ramadan, we have the places of worship, Allah Ta'ala's masajid, the best places on earth, and we need to connect back to them. Because what happened last year, you can say was a massive heart attack. A massive heart attack for the ummah. Without the month of Ramadan, without Hajj. And a heart attack doesn't just affect the heart. We'll say, okay, the masjids were closed. When a person has a heart attack, every single part of the body is affected. Every single limb is affected. So this is what happened to us. Now what happens after a heart attack? Right, you go to rehab. You go and you have to exercise again. You have to get back to the routine. It was a moment's time, right? The time passed, but the repercussions of that linger on. And you have to make effort to go back to that normality, if possible. That may not even be possible, but we have to try. So this is what we have to think about as we, discuss the topic of revival, of reviving ourselves in Ramadan, in particular reviving our hearts in Ramadan. And it's a steady uphill battle, and it's dedicated. It takes time, but you have to make those necessary steps. And the first step, alhamdulillah, is here, to come to the masjid. And this blessing has been removed from the hearts of many people. And it's very hard for them to come back because, for whatever reason, of a disconnect. So alhamdulillah, the fact that we're here, we should really thank Allah Ta'ala deeply. So we have a pressing need. We have a pressing need to rejuvenate ourselves. So what do? How do we go about it? As we revive ourselves, we always have to keep in mind to revive our families, our communities, our institutions. They're all hand in hand. You can't just revive one person and one piece and not revive the rest, because we need this environment. Look outside now, it's springtime. We see that the trees, alhamdulillah, they are growing leaves. Now if you go to the park, you may see there's other trees there as well. Logs that are on the ground. Maybe 2 months ago, you saw the log on the ground, and you saw the tree that's in the earth, it's planted in the earth. They both look dead. They both look dead, no growth whatsoever. Now you go down that same route, what do you see? You see that log is still dead, no growth there. But the tree that was planted in the ground, you see that there's growth there. There's buds, there's greenery, there's leaves growing. That's the power of being connected. That's the power, it's automatic. It's automatic. And the moment that you're disconnected, there's no hope. So the masjids are like that for us. The masjids are like that. So part of our revival and our connection is to revive our connection with the masjid. You know, a lot of times we see when you go to the store or read articles, you know, they tell you, you know, how to move forward. And they try to give you advice on how to proceed. So just a survey, like the past week I've been going and just thinking about it and seeing these articles and just going to the store even. And it says, you know, the science of identity, the science of personality. Science says this is good for you. Science says that is good for you. We've been being bombarded, right? Because we're looking for solutions and people are offering solutions. But you never find any place, you know, the science of going to the masjid or the science of, you know, science proves that going to the masjid will improve mental health, right? So part of it is that we need to realize where are the sources of our revival. We have to be well grounded in the knowledge of the deen, and that will give us, you know, these type of ideas of how to grow ourselves. And this applies more to the youth. You know, alhamdulillah, the elders and, you know, the middle-aged people, they've had deen, more deen. Now we're talking about this youth that, you know, are already bombarded with all the difficulties of life, and now they're facing crisis after crisis. So they don't know that the deen is the answer. They don't know that coming to the masjid is the answer. So whenever they see these things, they start full-fledged, you know, believing in it and understanding it and start thinking that this is, you know, the way out. This is the way for us to revive ourselves. This is the way to grow ourselves, you know, whatever science says. Science is great. Science has certain amount of ability to help us in our affairs. But science is limited in scope. What we need is a comprehensive, holistic approach. Right? We need the spiritual aspect as well. Now, those things may not be answered by science. Those things will not be answered. You know, so you tell somebody that, you know, brother, come to the masjid because there's angels here. Brother, come to the masjid, there's a'mal here. There's a nur of the a'mal. So even if a person comes and sits in the corner, doesn't do much, but that person will be affected because there is an environment. There is an environment of angels in the masjid. There is the nur of the a'mal that affects the bodies. Now, other types of knowledge that are not focused on the spiritual realm, they don't consider these things. But you may find, you know, the irony is that you may find the effects of UV. You know, UV radiation on cleanliness. You know, the effect of gamma rays, the effect of X-rays, and all these rays that we cannot perceive. That we cannot perceive with our ears or our senses. But they have developed the tools to figure this out, that there is an effect. So if we can believe that, can't we believe that the angels have an effect on our hearts? Can't we believe that doing a'mal has an effect on us? Something to consider, something to think about, because it's not that much different. So these sessions, you know, inshallah, whatever time we have during this month, we'll focus more on spiritual regrowth, spirituality, how to connect to Allah Ta'ala. And primarily it's through doing things that are very spiritual in nature. Dhikr, dua, salawat, these are types of things that help us spiritually. But just before that, there will be some food for thought. Some food for thought as we kind of, come out, especially coming from work. I myself came from work. We're bombarded all day with the dunya, day in and day out. Even to come to the masjid, you want to engage in ibadah, you need to detox. You need to kind of take it out. Sometimes some words come in and they can have an effect. Right? So these words will affect me, inshallah, first and foremost, and inshallah, the listeners as well. So I was thinking about doing like a book reading, and I found a very, very beneficial book that I found recently. And this is the book by Imam al-Haddad, The Lives of Man. Inshallah, I'll cover this more the next time. But it was a habit actually in the madaris to spend time after Asr to talk about the pious, to talk about people that lived a life of piety and died upon piety, and to read their works and to get benefit from that. So, alhamdulillah, we do have many, many scholars that have done many works. This particular work is in Arabic, so I'm much more familiar with Arabic than other languages, so I found it very beneficial. Inshallah, I will start sharing some of those things from the next session. So we need to keep this in mind, that we want to come and sit here to spend extra time in the masjid. Sure, we can go back, but the time of Ramadan won't come back. And needless to say, we don't know if we're going to get another Ramadan. We don't know that. And we know so many people, day in and day out, what's happening. So, from the very beginning, alhamdulillah, to be in the masjid during the month of Ramadan, because we don't know if this time will come back. When we go outside of the masjid, we see this environment of the dunya and the material world permeating all our thoughts, permeating all our interactions. This was actually something that is not new. This happened previously as well, previous times. If you go back to when the ancient Greeks and the Romans, they, advanced medicine and advanced materialistic learning over anything divine, and that was an original, break between the divine and the material world. What happened there? We see that people were going to these things for solving their problems. Allah Ta'ala at that time, and to those type of people, sent Isa alayhi salam. He sent Isa alayhi salam, which is a very spiritual prophet, Ruhullah, Kalimatullah. And he gave a dose of spirituality to that mindset. Afterwards, when our Prophet ﷺ came, he brought the best combination of the material and the physical. He brought the best combination. But now as we move towards the end of time, and the end of time will witness the greatest fitna for the Muslim Ummah, meaning the Dajjal. And the Dajjal will be characterized by this material, just hyper-focus. Right? So the fact that we can even combat that, that is our challenge. But collectively, we won't be able to even go to that level. That's why Isa alayhi salam, it will be a miracle that he will come back and he will give humanity another dose of spirituality. It's only befitting that he was the one that came, and at that time, the miracles that he brought defied science and defied medicine. He would cure the blind. He would cure the leper. So it's only fitting that Isa alayhi salam will come back now when we are looking and science is telling this, the answer is found only in science. Answer is not found in deen. Answer is not found in spiritual realm. There's no need to study that. So Isa alayhi salam will come at that time as well and restore the balance. So until then, we have to keep connected. Alhamdulillah, one of the great a'mal that we can do is salawat. And this is a habit of this masjid, alhamdulillah, on Thursday nights to do salawat. So we'll keep that, today being Friday, it's the perfect time for that. So today we will do inshallah salawat, and other sessions we'll have some silent dhikr afterwards. And that will be the actual gist of this. There's no academic talk here. This is about doing deeds. This is about doing those deeds that can affect us spiritually. It's sitting there and doing dhikr. There's nothing fancy about it. There's nothing like, you have to explain that is, you have to get or something. You just have to have this belief that there is an effect on our hearts. Unfortunately, what's happened is that we're not tuning into the tool that allows us to feel the effects of this dhikr, the effects of tilawat, the effects of salah, the effects of sawm, right? Which is our spiritual heart. The spiritual heart has the ability to perceive the nuraniyat of these deeds. But if the battery is dead, how can you feel anything? So we have to charge it deeply because it's been dissipated tremendously. This energy has been dissipated. And as we do it slowly but surely, you will start feeling it. Allah Ta'ala gives this mercy and He descends it down. But we have to receive it. We have to be able to receive this blessing. So dhikr allows us to get this blessing. It softens the hearts. It softens the hearts. But today's being Friday, inshallah, we will do salawat, because this is a great deed. We can do that, inshallah, as we have done in this masjid. So inshallah, I'll leave that for today. It's just an introduction of what we'll do and what we're focusing on. And reflect on it, and reflect with our family members, inshallah. We ask Allah Ta'ala to give us the tawfiq to understand the topic at hand, give us the tawfiq to connect spiritually in this month of Ramadan, connect ourselves to the masjid, rejuvenate ourselves, rejuvenate our families and our institutions, and breathe the soul back into ourselves. Allah Ta'ala can give the tawfiq. We ask Allah Ta'ala for tawfiq. Wa akhiru da'wana and alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم سلام على عبادي الذين اصطفى سلام على المرسلين اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد وأنزل المقعد المقرب عندك اللهم رب هذه الدعوة القائمة والصلاة النافعة صل على محمد وارض عني رضا لا تسخط بعده أبدا اللهم صل على محمد عبدك ورسولك وصل على المؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد وارحم محمدا وعلى محمد كما صليت وباركت ورحمت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم على آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على آل إبراهيم وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على آل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم صل على محمد وأزواجه وذريته كما صليت على آل إبراهيم وبارك على محمد وأزواجه وذريته كما باركت على آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى أزواجه وذريته كما صليت على آل إبراهيم وبارك على محمد وعلى أزواجه وذريته كما باركت على آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم صل على محمد النبي وأزواجه أمهات المؤمنين وذريته وأهل بيته كما صليت على إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وترحم على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما ترحمت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم ترحم على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما ترحمت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم تحنن على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما تحننت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم سلم على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما سلمت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد وبارك وسلم على محمد وعلى آل محمد وارحم محمد وعلى محمد كما صليت وباركت وترحمت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم صل على محمد عبدك ورسولك كما صليت على آل إبراهيم وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على آل إبراهيم. اللهم صل على محمد النبي الأمي وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وبارك على محمد النبي الأمي كما باركت على إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم صل على محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد صلاة تكون لك رضا وله جزاء ولحقه أداء وعته الوسيلة والفضيلة والمقام المحمود الذي وعدته واجزي عنا ما هو أهله واجزه أفضل ما جازيت نبيا عن قومه ورسولا عن أمته وصل على جميع إخوانه من النبيين والصالحين يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم صل على محمد النبي الأمي وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم وبارك على محمد النبي الأمي وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى أهل بيته كما صليت على إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم صل علينا معهم. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى أهل بيته كما باركت على إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك علينا معهم صلوات الله وصلوات المؤمنين على محمد النبي الأمي. اللهم اجعل صلواتك ورحمتك وبركاتك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما جعلتها على آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد، وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد، وصلى الله على النبي الأمي. التحيات لله والصلوات والطيبات. السلام عليك أيها النبي ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام علينا وعلى عباد الله الصالحين. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدًا عبده ورسوله. التحيات الطيبات والصلوات لله. السلام عليك أيها النبي ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام علينا وعلى عباد الله الصالحين. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدًا عبده ورسوله. التحيات لله الطيبات والصلوات لله. السلام عليك أيها النبي ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام علينا وعلى عباد الله الصالحين. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدًا عبده ورسوله. التحيات المباركات والصلوات الطيبات لله. سلام عليك أيها النبي ورحمة الله وبركاته. سلام علينا وعلى عباد الله الصالحين. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدًا عبده ورسوله. بسم الله وبالله. التحيات لله والصلوات والطيبات. السلام عليك أيها النبي ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام علينا وعلى عباد الله الصالحين. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدًا عبده ورسوله. أسأل الله الجنة وأعوذ بالله من النار. التحيات لله الزاكيات لله الطيبات والصلوات لله. السلام عليك أيها النبي ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام علينا وعلى عباد الله الصالحين. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدًا عبده ورسوله. بسم الله وبالله خير الأسماء. التحيات الطيبات والصلوات لله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدًا عبده ورسوله أرسله بالحق بشيرًا ونذيرًا وأن الساعة آتية لا ريب فيها. السلام عليك أيها النبي ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام علينا وعلى عباد الله الصالحين. اللهم اغفر لي واهدني. التحيات الطيبات والصلوات والملك لله. السلام عليك أيها النبي ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله. التحيات لله الصلوات لله الزاكيات لله. السلام على النبي ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام علينا وعلى عباد الله الصالحين. شهدت أن لا إله إلا الله. شهدت أن محمدًا رسول الله. التحيات الطيبات والصلوات والزاكيات لله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأن محمدًا عبده ورسوله. السلام عليك أيها النبي ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام علينا وعلى عباد الله الصالحين. التحيات الطيبات والصلوات والزاكيات لله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدًا عبد الله ورسوله. السلام عليك أيها النبي ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام علينا وعلى عباد الله الصالحين. التحيات والصلوات لله. السلام عليك أيها النبي ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام علينا وعلى عباد الله الصالحين. التحيات لله والصلوات الطيبات. السلام عليك أيها النبي ورحمة الله. السلام علينا وعلى عباد الله الصالحين. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدًا عبده ورسوله. التحيات المباركات والصلوات الطيبات لله. السلام عليك أيها النبي ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام علينا وعلى عباد الله الصالحين. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. بسم الله والسلام على رسول الله. اللهم صل على روح محمد في الأرواح وصل على جسد محمد في الأجساد وصل على قبر محمد في القبور. اللهم صل على محمد حتى لا يبقى من صلواتك شيء وبارك على محمد حتى لا يبقى من بركاتك شيء وسلم على محمد حتى لا يبقى من سلامك شيء. اللهم صل على محمد ملء الدنيا وملء الآخرة وبارك على محمد ملء الدنيا وملء الآخرة وارحم محمدا ملء الدنيا وملء الآخرة وسلم على محمد ملء الدنيا وملء الآخرة. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد السابق للخلق نوره ورحمة للعالمين ظهوره عدد من مضى من خلقك ومن بقي ومن سعد منهم ومن شقي صلاة تستلق العد وتحيط بالحد صلاة لا غاية لها ولا انتهاء ولا أمد لها ولا انقضاء صلاة دائمة بدوامك وعلى أهله وصحبه كذلك والحمد لله على ذلك. اللهم تقبل شفاعة محمد الكبرى وارفع درجته العليا واعته سؤله في الآخرة والأولى كما آتيت إبراهيم وموسى. اللهم صل على محمد عدد من صلى عليه وصل على محمد بعدد من لم يصل عليه وصل على محمد كما أمرت أن يصلى عليه وصل على محمد كما يحب أن يصلى عليه وصل على محمد كما تنبغي الصلاة عليه. اللهم إني أسألك يا الله يا رحمن يا رحيم يا جار المستجيرين يا أمان الخائفين يا عماد من لا عماد له يا سند من لا سند له لا ذخر من لا ذخر له يا حرز الضعفاء يا كنز الفقراء يا عظيم الرجاء يا منقذ الهلكى يا منجي الغرقى يا محسن يا مجمل يا منعم يا مفضل يا عزيز يا جبار يا منير. أنت الذي سجد لك سواد الليل وضوء النهار وشعاع الشمس وخفيق الشجر وضوي الماء ونور القمر. يا الله أنت الله لا شريك لك. أسألك أن تصلي على محمد عبدك رسولك وعلى آل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد وأصحابه وأولاده وأهل بيته وذريته ومحبيه وأتباعه وشيعه وعلينا معهم أجمعين يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم صل على محمد صلاة تنجينا بها من جميع الأهوال والآفات وتقضي لنا بها جميع الحاجات وتطهرنا بها من جميع السيئات وترفعنا بها عندك أعلى الدرجات وتبلغنا بها أقصى الغايات من جميع الخيرات في الحياة وبعد الممات إنك على كل شيء قدير. الله لبيك اللهم ربي وسعديك. صلوات الله بر الرحيم والملائكة المقربين ونبيين والصديقين والشهداء الصالحين وما سبح لك من شيء يا رب العالمين على محمد بن عبد الله خاتم النبيين وسيد المرسلين وإمام المتقين ورسول رب العالمين الشاهد البشير الداعي إليك بإذنك السراج المنير وعليه السلام. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. ربنا ظلمنا أنفسنا وإن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكون من الخاسرين. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. رب اغفر وارحم وأنت خير الراحمين. ربنا اصرف عنا عذاب جهنم إن عذابها كان غراما إن ساءت مستقرا ومقاما. رب اغفر وارحم وأنت خير الراحمين. رب ارحمهما كما ربياني صغيرا. رب ارحمهما كما ربياني صغيرا. رب ارحمهما كما ربياني صغيرا. ربنا هب لنا من أزواجنا وذرياتنا قرة أعين واجعلنا للمتقين إماما. اللهم اغفر للمؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات الأحياء منهم والأموات. اللهم اشف مرضانا واربط المسلمين وارحم موتانا موتى المؤمنين. يا الله يا رحمن يا ودود يا قادر يا رب العالمين. Oh Allah, accept our salawat ya Rabb al-Alameen. Accept our coming to the masjid ya Allah. Accept our prayer ya Allah. Accept our sitting in the masjid ya Allah. Accept our listening to the deen ya Rabb al-Alameen. Accept our asal ya Rabb al-Alameen. Oh Allah, please connect us ya Allah to the masjid ya Allah. Please connect us to the nur al-a'mal ya Allah. Oh Allah, to give us tawfiq Allah to do more and more a'mal ya Rabb al-Alameen. Oh Allah, allow us to develop the spirituality ya Allah. Oh Allah, to connect us Allah. Oh Allah, to get this qalb salim, the qalb munib ya Rabb al-Alameen. Oh Allah, we are so far away, Allah, from the time of the Prophet ﷺ, Ya Allah. We're so far away from the blessed lands of the Prophet ﷺ, Ya Allah. Oh, we're so far away from the Muslim lands, Ya Rabb al-Alameen, Oh Allah. Oh Allah, we're in difficult times, Ya Rabb al-Alameen, Ya Allah. But you are there, Ya Rabb al-Alameen. You are a protector, Ya Allah. You are the wali, Ya Allah. You are the guardian, Ya Rabb al-Alameen. You are the one that can guide, Ya Rabb al-Alameen. You are the one to protect it. The Ashab al-Kahf, Ya Rabb al-Alameen. All those people that are surrounding them, the environment was not conducive, Ya Rabb al-Alameen, Ya Allah. You protected them, Ya Allah, through your karam, Ya Rabbal Alameen. Oh Allah, we ask you, Ya Allah, living in this country, Ya Allah, living in this time, Ya Rabbal Alameen. Oh, such difficult times, Ya Allah, where people are losing their faith, Ya Rabbal Alameen. Oh Allah, people are losing their connections, Ya Allah. People are not valuing their connections, Ya Allah. People are, Ya Rabbal Alameen, they don't value the iman anymore, Ya Rabbal Alameen. Oh Allah, we thank you for all the blessings that you've given us, Ya Rabbal Alameen. We ask you to shower us, continue us with these blessings, Ya Allah. Oh Allah, don't ever deprive us of these blessings, Ya Allah. Oh Allah, we don't deserve these blessings, Ya Rabbal Alameen. Oh Allah, we definitely don't deserve it, Ya Rabbal Alameen. We feel it's our birthright, Ya Allah. Oh Allah, we became Muslim, thus we deserve it, Ya Allah. We seek refuge from that, Ya Rabbal Alameen. Oh Allah, you're the ones that give us this blessing, continuous to give us these blessings, Ya Rabbal Alameen. Oh Allah, don't be deprived of this, Ya Rabbal Alameen. Oh Allah, keep the masajid open, Ya Rabbal Alameen. Keep the people coming to the masjid, Ya Rabbal Alameen. Oh Allah, give that fikr in their hearts, Ya Rabbal Alameen. Allah, those people that are making effort to bring the people to the masjid, Allah, give them blessings, Ya Rabbal Alameen. Allah, those people that are inviting people to deen, Ya Rabbal Alameen. Allah, protect them, Ya Rabbal Alameen. Allah, those people that are striving, Ya Allah, in whatever way, in seeking knowledge, Ya Allah, and doing dhikr, Ya Rabbal Alameen. Allah, protect them, Ya Allah. Give them the tawfiq, Ya Allah. Allah, we ask all the good du'as, Allah, all those people that are making dua, Ya Rabbal Alameen. There's so many pious people, Ya Allah, all over the world, Ya Rabbal Alameen. This month of Ramadan, Ya Allah, they're raising their hands in dua, Ya Rabbal Alameen. Oh Allah, we want you to be part of that, Ya Rabbal Alameen. Ya Rabbal Alameen. Oh Allah, please have mercy on us, Ya Allah. Oh Allah, change our dead hearts, Ya Rabbal Alameen. Oh Allah, change our dead hearts, Allah. Oh Allah, make it alive again, Ya Rabbal Alameen. Oh Allah, allow us to feel the deen, Ya Rabbal Alameen. Oh Allah, the lazzat of iman, the halawat of recitation, Ya Allah, of qiyamul layl, Ya Rabbal Alameen, of sitting in the masjid, Ya Rabbal Alameen. Oh Allah, what else, Ya Allah, these blessings, Allah. Oh, don't deprive us of these blessings, Ya Allah. Allow us to feel them, Ya Rabbal Alameen. Feel Ramadan, Ya Allah. Not just make it academic, Ya Allah. Oh Allah, truly to get this change of heart, Ya Rabbal Alameen, so that we can come, Ya Allah. Oh Allah, you gave us, when we were young, Allah, you gave us this beautiful heart, Ya Rabbal Alameen. But look at what we've done, Ya Rabbal Alameen. Oh Allah, we determined to destroy this heart, Ya Rabbal Alameen. How can we face you, Ya Rabbal Alameen? Oh Allah, we don't even want to go to the store to buy anything, Ya Allah, that has a spot on it, Ya Rabbal Alameen. Oh Allah, we look for the best of the fruits, Ya Allah. There's no spots on there. There's nothing on there, Ya Rabbal Alameen. Oh Allah, you gave us this beautiful heart, Ya Allah. Oh Allah, now we face ourselves in the darkness of sin, Ya Allah, the darkness of disobedience, Ya Rabbal Alameen. Oh Allah, how can we go back to you, Ya Allah, with this heart, Ya Allah? And how do we expect, Ya Allah, that we'll get Jannah for this, Ya Allah? How do we expect that we'll get this beautiful Jannah, unending Jannah, with all the desires fulfilled, Ya Allah, with this dirty heart, Ya Allah? Oh Allah, please have mercy on us. Please have mercy on the community, Ya Rabbal Alameen. Oh Allah, most of our parents did not come to this country, Ya Allah. They didn't come to this country for this deen, Ya Rabbal Alameen. They came for the dunya, Ya Rabbal Alameen. Ya Allah, we didn't come here for the dunya. We didn't come here for the deen, Ya Allah. We came for the dunya. It is only your immense favors upon us, Ya Rabbal Alameen, that you've changed the hearts. You've changed the hearts of our children. You've changed the hearts of the community, Ya Allah, that we can have these type of institutions in this place, Ya Rabbal Alameen. Something that we did not even imagine, Ya Rabbal Alameen. Oh Allah, you are the one that can do anything, Ya Allah. You are the one that can use any of us, Ya Rabbal Alameen. Oh Allah, give us the tawfiq, Ya Allah. Oh Allah, give us the tawfiq, Allah. Oh Allah, you have done so much, Allah. Oh Allah, do not deprive us of this at this moment, Ya Rabbal Alameen. Allah, we're so close, Allah, to spreading the deen, Ya Allah, in this country, Ya Rabbal Alameen. Oh Allah, so many institutions here in this land, in this area, Ya Rabbal Alameen. So many ulama, so many huffaz, Ya Rabbal Alameen. Oh, please have your special mercy upon us, Ya Allah. Allah, you have selected us for some special task, Ya Allah. We don't know why this area, Allah, has been selected, Ya Allah. We don't know what the blessings of this area, Ya Rabbal Alameen. We ask you to partake in these blessings and to protect us, Ya Rabbal Alameen, and use us for the deen, Ya Rabbal Alameen. Use us for the deen. Use us for spreading the deen all over this country, Ya Rabbal Alameen. Use us to spread all over the world, Ya Rabbal Alameen. Allah, the winds of change can come anytime, Ya Rabbal Alameen. Allah, the winds of change can come, and you can change the deen. You can change the hearts of people, Ya Rabbal Alameen. Allah, change the hearts of the people around us, Ya Allah. Allah, they're looking everywhere except the deen for the solution, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, they're looking for things that don't have any answer, Ya Allah. They're looking for that, and that's why we're suffering, Ya Allah. Allah, you're the ones that you can give us the tawfiq, Ya Rabbal Alameen. Allah, inspire us, Allah, to do that which is good, Ya Allah, and help all those that are in need, Ya Allah. Help us and protect us, Ya Rabbal Alameen. Oh Allah, please accept us. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا يا مولانا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم وصلى الله تعالى على خير خلقه محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين برحمتك يا رب.